Hey everyone, welcome to the 90s and my really messy room. If you notice, I have my hair flipped over to the side because that's what you did in the 90s if you didn't have it in some crazy hairstyle or a million clippies. Oh, I'm really glad that the 90s are over. Like, so glad that the 90s are over. But, I mean, I lived through the 90s, so they weren't all that bad. I mean, I think definitely some good things came out of them. I have a few friends that came out of the 90s. Let's see if I can find them. I'm just inviting them to get on. Let me see. So I had a few friends that came out of the 90s, and they're like some of my very best friends. Let me see. Goodness gracious. Sorry. There we go. All right. So, we're going to talk 90s. Hey, Alyssa. Alyssa came out of the 90s. Both of my sisters came out of the 90s. So, those are two of the very best things ever. Jessica McNaspy, I think you came out of the 90s. Right? Okay. So, shout out. Shout out if you came out of the 90s. So, the 90s are partially my favorite because I was obsessed with Clueless. Like, I wanted to be Cher so much. I watched the movie. Oh, yes, I put on my choker. I put on my flannel shirt. I really contemplated putting on like a white baby doll t-shirt with a floral dress over it, but I had to take my kids to the psychiatrist after that. And, I mean, we already look like a hot mess, so I didn't want to show up to the psychiatrist's office with my 90s makeup, my choker, and my white baby doll t-shirt with my floral dress. Yeah, that would be amazing. All right, so a super quick tutorial because we have got to go get our med refills. And honestly, let me just give you a little truth here. Sometimes when we go to the psychiatrist, the office is so crazy, I feel like I need meds when I leave the office just from taking my kids to their appointment. So, pray for me because they don't give me meds. They only give my kids meds. They're holding out on me. That's really sad. All right, so some things I noticed about the 90s. Oh, look at my hair. I did not wear a lot of makeup during the 90s because I was still kind of young, probably towards the end of the 90s. So, anyway, whatever. There you go. Date me. I'm 33. I'll be 34. So one thing about the 90s is that we loved really little brows. Like, we were tweezing all the brows. The big brow that's in now, that was a no-no. No in the 90s. No one had big, full brows. Everybody just had these skinny little brows, which is good because my brows are barely there. So I found the smallest angle brush that I own, and I am going to just barely fill in my brows. I could really not touch them, and I would be killing it 90s style. Yes. Oh, you still have a tattoo choker. Yeah, Gabby found my choker in my old jewelry box that I gave her. She's like, Mom, what is this? Is this a bracelet? No, girl, that goes around your neck. And they're in style again. So she's been wearing this choker every day because, you know, we kick it 90s every day in our house. All right, so I'm going to do my thin little brows. I'm going to try not to, like, overdo them. But we'll see. We'll see if I can do this thing. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that thin brow. Look at those 90s brows. Look how thin they are. I love it. Love it. Okay, let's see if I can match it on the other side. Let's get these 90s thin brows going. We need just a thin, dark line on our face because, you know what? In the 90s, that's what we did. That is what we did, guys. Okay, that one looks a little full. Sorry, that should have been thinner. Okay, so look. Ooh, I've got my thin 90s brows. Yes, I'm killing the 90s right now. And guess what? Like, they really did not wear a lot of makeup. So yesterday for the 80s, I did all the 80s glam. I put on the brightest blue eyeshadow I had, but I'm sorry, in my pictures it didn't even look bright blue, so but it was really bright blue if you saw me in person. And actually, shout out to my friend Katie Landclose, because she went to Hobby Lobby to grab homeschool stuff with me last night, and I still had on my 80s makeup, and she went with me because she is such a good friend. Thank you, Katie, for not being embarrassed of my beautiful makeup yesterday when my kids said I looked weird. I mean, I thought I looked on point. Anyway, all right, so I have my 90s brows. They're so thin and so beautiful. As far as eye makeup went, it didn't really look like they wore a whole lot of eye makeup, but I'm just going to put a little bit of number 2 on my eyes because, you know, why not? Why not? I have the makeup out. I'll just give myself a small highlight here. What are you guys doing today? I'm going to the psychiatrist next. Oh, and then I've already been on the phone with Walgreens all morning trying to get a prescription filled. So here's a good question, Facebook family. If you need a prescription filled and your doctor's office and pharmacy that you've had the prescription filled at is underwater, how do you get the prescription refilled? If anyone knows, will you tell me? Because I think that I'm going to have to go maybe to an urgent care to get a refill. Oh, I don't even know. It's just tummy medicine for my baby. But gosh, I don't even know. Yeah. Oh, Jess, you're only having dinner. All right. Well, yay. Yay for dinner today. That's good. You should have dinner. Yeah. So pray for me because we might go from the psychiatrist to an urgent care somewhere to just try to get a checkup so that we can get more tummy medicine for spitting up. So I don't know. Who knows? We might go to the doctor all day today. It would just be so much fun. I mean, can you guys think of anything else that would be more fun than taking 6 children to multiple doctor's appointments? Because I can't think of anything else more fun. I think that hopefully maybe the psychiatrist will give me like a goodie bag whenever I leave. I don't know. We can only wish, right? All right, guys. So far I have my thin, look at those thin brows. They are beautiful. And then very nude eyes. And you know what? They just totally skipped the eyeliner. It seemed like every other, like, I don't know, past generation loved eyeliner. Not the 90s. They were like, pff, whatever. The 90s with eyeliner were like what the 60s were with a bra. No one wears it. All right. I'll do that last though because whatever. I just will. That's just what I'm going to do. They also did not wear a lot of blush. So I'm going to go in and I never stinking remember which number this blush is because I don't know. I should really write these things down. But I'm on time constraints. Oh, it's number 7. I'm going to go in with my peachy number 7. And I'm just going to take it real light because we are totally 90s. What was your favorite thing about the 90s? What was your favorite thing? What were some of your favorite shows or your favorite styles? I loved Blossom. My favorite movie was Clueless, of course. I said that at the beginning. I wanted to be Cher. Man, what were some of my other favorite things? I don't even know. I don't know. There were so many good things about the 90s. All the cartoons were really good. Probably some of the best. I remember a cartoon, but I don't remember the name. And it had all of the Chicago, like, greats from, like, each, 90210, yes, and Melrose Place. Okay, so anyone else up north, and I don't know if this was a Southern show because I didn't live here then, but does anyone else remember watching the cartoon before school? It had all of the, like, I think it had Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, I don't know. There are several, like, greats, like sports greats, and they're like superheroes in the show. But I used to watch that all the time. It was the bomb. Well, there you go. That was one of my favorite before school cartoons to watch. All right, so in the 90s, I also noticed they didn't really care about having fabulous eyelashes. So previous generations, they cared. Towards the 70s and the 80s, it was the 80s. The 80s, they were just, it looked like one coat. They were just doing one little coat. Whatever. So I'm just going to do one little coat of mascara today because, you know, we're going really natural. Now, the one favorite thing that just makes me laugh about the 90s so much, besides the crazy, like, super thin, baby fine hair, the fact that we all probably took a magazine clipping. A magazine clipping. Who remembers magazines? Do you remember what a magazine is? Well, we would cut a picture out of a magazine because there was no Google. We would get up in our magazines, cut a picture out, and take it to the hairdresser and be like, give me Jennifer Aniston's hair because this is the best. All right, so that's what we would do. And I'm going to poke myself in the eye because what would be better than running errands with all of my children and an eye patch? I don't think anything could really top that. All right. So I've got one little coat on. Unfortunately, or actually pretty fortunately, I have fabulous mascara that even one coat makes a pretty big difference. So I'm going to just have fabulous lashes even with one coat. I'm going to get my other coat on here, and then I'm going to top it off with an amazing lip color. So I noticed in kicking it back to the 90s, they had great lipstick. It was brown, brown, and more brown. I would say that was the theme of 90s makeup. You know, we had brown, neutral eyes, brown, thin brows, and more brown lips. My cheeks are probably even a little bit too much color. I don't know. Anyhow, that's okay. Y'all will just have to deal with it today. I did my best. And I still have to run around in public. So, you know, bear with me here. All right. Anybody else who was born in the 90s or was just a kid in the 90s? Some of my favorite memories from the 90s were just like family memories. So oh gosh, I have a huge family, and I have the most fun memories from hanging out at my Mama and Papa's house and hanging out at my Bobka and Jaja's house, because there we had like all the cousins, and then also at my Grammy and Poppy's house because we have a huge family and everyone loved to get together. So it felt like every weekend we were hanging out with family. The cousins were always up to mischief. And man, it was just so much fun. There were fields and we would just run around and do crazy things. I know, I could not find a freaking daisy hair clip. Y'all, I was like hunting my house for a daisy this morning. Okay, but I couldn't. Or a Blossom hat. Who loved Blossom? I did. She was amazing. Okay, now I'm going to put on some really dark lipstick because this says 90s. Oh, I might need to put it up a little here. Oh yeah. This is nice and dark. This lighting does not do it justice either. Oh, this is good. So, today, if you want to get your 90s vibe on, just leave your brows really thin, barely wear any makeup, and then wear a dark lipstick. Don't do anything to your hair. Just leave it flat because that was the 90s. Or Girl Talk and Mall Madness. Yes. Oh my gosh. Girl Talk and Mall Madness were so much fun. If you went to a sleepover in the 90s and you're a girl, you were playing those games. Like, all night long. Maybe you were playing those games while you watched Clueless, or my other 90s favorite, Anne of Green Gables. I binge watched the entire series of Anne of Green Gables man, at a sleepover one night with my friend Jessica. So that was an amazing weekend. We just laid in bed and watched Anne of Green Gables, and we dreamed of puffy sleeves. It was amazing. With our thin eyebrows and our weird, like, brownish lips. Anyway, so that was the 90s and the flat hair. Another fun thing about the 90s, which I can't do because I'm going in public today, but I really considered it, and then I had pity on my children, do you guys remember Clippies? Like little Clippies. The butterfly Clippies. Who had butterfly hair Clippies? Yes. So do you remember in the 90s, we'd like take our hair, oh my gosh, guys, this is amazing, and we would twist it back so tight like this, and we would put Clippies in our hair, and we would pull it all back, and our foreheads would look so ginormous, and we thought that this look was the bomb. This look right here. This is the 90s, okay? But I'm going in public, so we're not going to get too crazy. All right, so pray for me today because, you know, we are going to the psychiatrist, and it makes us all crazy to go to the psychiatrist, which is crazy because, you know, whatever. And we are running errands, and today is Eric's last day of work before he goes on vacation. So enjoy my choker, love my flannel, love my 90s makeup look. And you know what? If you're feeling feisty today, sport some thin eyebrows and really earthy makeup. Just keep it earthy. And if you have a favorite 90s memory, oh my gosh, you should post it on this thread. And then tomorrow's going to be so much fun because guess what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is going to be a character day. So, if you can think of a fun character, it could be a Disney princess, it could be a movie character, anything. Post some pics in the comments, and I will go for one of them. So, post a pic, your favorite character. It can be crazy, maybe, not too crazy, but it can be crazy-ish, and I will attempt it. And tomorrow is Saturday, so guess what? I'll have help with children, and I can take a little bit more time. All right. Well, thank you for joining me for my 90s look. It's just so beautiful. Look at these brows. I'm going to have to fill these in a little bit more before I leave. But on point right here. Happy 90s day. Bye, guys.